You know, at one point, I kind of wanted to do the gameplay in a way that, like, such that the end is the beginning and there would be a fox here instead of a human, but I got good teeth, so I don't need to have hide behind a VTuber. Still need to, fix this, but regulations are written in blood. The end is never 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 it's never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end. It's never the end. Yankee, 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 Yank. Yoinky, doinky, schmoinky, boinky, boink. It is making my lips red. It is making my lips red. My hair is more red than it needs to be right now. Yankee, banky, spanky, boo. Alababamba, la 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 bamba, body, super berra. Ay, caramba, bam bam bam, ay, caramba, ay, caramba, para pa pa pam, la 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 bamba. I am blue now, so now that is not the color. That's the color to make my hair bluer than this. Yeah, I'll accept it. 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 Accept it. I love you, Bobby. I can capture again. I capture. I capture. Oh yeah, capture the Stanley Parable. It's a Stanley Parabole Balabable. I'm gonna make it separate feed to capture the gameplay. Yes, I'll capture my gameplay and my screen capture so I can play a. I can crop it and edit all day, a. Edit all day today. No, it makes all the greens brighter in my room having a blue light on them for some reason. I don't get why that is. Logically speaking, the blue light shouldn't do that. Logically speaking, the blue light shouldn't do that, Stanley. Stanley, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that, Stanley. You shouldn't be doing that, Stanley. Stanley, 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 Stanley. The narrator, 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 the narrator. Narrator! Okay. I captured the input, adding existing mic check. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ay, 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 my eye annoys me. I don't like the fact that I have to actively look with this thing, or else it goes and drifts away. Hey, hey, better that way. Looking out onto the veranda, they didn't realize that there was nothing. The end is never the end, 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 is never the end. Ah. Sounds like ESO is on downloading. The end is never the end, 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 is never the end. Yo yo yo. Abracadabra, ruba booba. Diana, Bama, come on, pretty, Scott Falco reference. All of his co-workers were gone. Stanley didn't know what to do about this. Like, seriously, Stanley did not know what to do about this. If he did anything, he would not know what to do. Пришли попрерла. Да надо прибриба пребра. Let the Stanley paraboling begin. Let me find the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. And let me realize Where it is on my screen. Stanley Parallel Ultra Deluxe. Why isn't it showing up on this screen, but it's showing up on the other screen? It's only gameplay. I are So, oh, is that what I have to do? I have to do, wanna be like you, wanna talk like you, walk like you, or wanna walk like you, talk like you do. Maybe someone like me can learn to human too. Do 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 do. Talk like you too. Of course, this means war, game. You know this means war. I know you know this means war. Welcome to Walmart. No, it doesn't work at all. And this doesn't work well either. I have to shift this way a little bit. It's awkward because the butt pivot is right there. I need to go this way to get to... Weird. Why isn't it capturing? Weird. Because it's supposed to be doing that. But it is not doing what I want it to do. I want it to do a different thing. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Stanley wondered to himself as he tried to figure out why it wasn't working. English. I played Stanley Parable. Now let's see how much of the game is in the frame, shall we? Weird. Come on. Whoa, whoa, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you and talk like you too. Ika boka, ika boka, uma nak, ika boka, uma nak. Okay, Rio. The game begin. The trippiest game ever. The end is never 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 the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in
Let's get the Stanley Parable endings out of the way first.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Because he was made for this job.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing.
No reason to do that at all.
And here
We're going to be just fine as we are.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer.
Buttons.
Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
You know what, narrator guy? I'm gonna go out the office this time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
What
memo.
is the white void out
No
there?
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
It's a
find a
white
trace
void.
of his co-workers.
How naughty of you, number 34 or number 435, to leave your computer on like that? Seriously? 432 and your pencil sharpener. Where are the pencils to sharpen 432? You need to sharpen your pencils, 432. Get this man some pencils. That's a pen, not a pencil. That's also a pen. Are there any pencils? Ah, pencil. 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 Said pencil? No. It's not a pencil. That's not a pencil either. Oh.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this
Okay,
narration
guys.
and
I guess
realized it
we
was
are
part
kind
of
of
the game's
stuck
design
in the
all
void
along.
now.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game
Two
structure
subs away from
and its
350.
examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What
Drink
do
it
you
all
think? Are
in,
you
he
sick of this
says.
gag yet?
Like a thing of applesauce.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Would it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Meh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
435.
Stanley decided
Jessica,
to go to the meeting
stop
room.
turning your
Perhaps he
computer
had
on and
simply
leaving
missed
it
a
there.
memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Also, I'm not going to
co-workers.
dead name Jessica. She's a beautiful woman. I must follow the narrator's request to come back here
At first,
and press the
Stanley
button.
assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration
Not
and
being
realized
here,
it was part of
he's
the
on
game's
the
design
button.
all along.
Push
He
the
then
button.
praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day
My
in a
existential dread
meaningful
hat.
way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable.
And the
Lives
defending
existence
existence
quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Keep it going. It's not
You
miserable.
too will become quite unbearable.
This is nothing compared to Cap'n. At least you're making words come out of your mouth. I don't want to listen to me. The guitar broke down. Now we're staring in an endless white void of abyss. There once was a man from Peru who dreamed he was eating a shoe. He woke with a fright in the middle of the night to find that his dream had come true.
All of his co-workers
Oh, that's
were
a
gone.
rich one. Let's go
What
back
did it
there.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Oh, no.
Perhaps he had
So
simply
we're going
missed a
back out
memo.
there. Void.
No
Void's where
matter
to be.
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
The
find
void
a
is where to
trace
be.
of his
Let's not
co-workers.
answer it now this
At
time. and
first,
see what
Stanley
happens.
assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Can I respond? I know you'll play a war of attrition. Piano fingers. My nails are perfect for playing piano now. Oh, the ending didn't. There's nothing else here, is there? Then again, there are endings that require you to wait literal hours for anything to happen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, Brian! Brian, you fools. What's this? 419.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Achievement?
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
What more do you want from me,
Perhaps
narrator?
50 clicks
What
would
do you
do it.
want
Yes,
from me?
almost
Do you want
certainly
me to be like
50
Jacksepticeye
clicks.
and talk like Jacksepticeye for a little bit? What was the instruction?
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437. Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Copy machine, where are they? Copy machine. Where did it go? Where is it now? There it is.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Let's admire the fern, Stanley. The fern is going to be super important later. Absorb every detail of the fern.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Why do you want me to climb on my desk?
This is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Door 416.
We've almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
I love how the narrator is getting more and more excited as we are just going on a random errand to click
Finish
everything.
it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 4. Yes! We did it!
Achievement get.
Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Anyway, let's continue onward, shall we? This liminal space of the back room's office space. That narrator guy
When
seems
Stanley
to be
came
fun.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go this way then.
Yet there was not a single person
Lots
here
of Easter
either.
eggs in the office.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
There's a lot of funny targets there. Weird schedule. Beveled. This is the least unique. Same hair color, same hairstyle, same shirt color. The only not unique thing about them is their dress. Violet James. Looks like we're a company that makes only graphs, and graphs about graphs, and graphs about money. And charts. That's sport. Oh, that guy wanted to be fired, obviously. What's this? It's a broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Doing sweet fuck all.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
It's the Zen. It's the room. It lets me text. It lets me check Twitter. And see the horrible state of what's going on in the world because it's all that Twitter shows me.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
I can actually show you my awards for
also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
99th percentile in my grade. Starting to wonder if it was all just my pattern recognition for ADHD allowing me to reverse extrapolate all the answers for the standardized tests.
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Oh, what? Oh, I should probably keep playing the game.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the You too? Unbelievable.
I
I'm
think
at
I
the
missed
mercy of an
something.
entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey
Entire
nearby who can hand
species?
the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can
You're
hammer out
not
the
a
details. I'm not
human?
particularly picky.
Wait,
I'll just be waiting
you're
for
not a
when you're ready
human?
to pick up the story again. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
no,
his
no, no, no,
boss's
no, no, no.
office.
The broom closet showed me. You're not to be trusted. I'm out of here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He
away
considered the
from me.
possibility
Why are
of
you still in
facing
my
his
head?
boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive
Get out of my
economy,
head.
why
Wait.
had he taken that risk?
the
All
same
because he
car.
believed everyone had vanished.
No, that can't be
His
the
boss
same
would
car.
think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
69H.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see
Oh God,
his
my feet are
feet
gone.
when he looked down?
Where are my feet?
Why did doors close automatically behind
Yeah.
him wherever he went?
Oh God, why are
And
they
for
close
that
behind
matter,
me?
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at
HC27C.
last, he came to the conclusion
Oh,
that
God.
had been on the tip of
It
his
is
tongue.
repeating.
He just hadn't
I'm stuck
found
in
the
a loop.
words for it. I'm dreaming!
Oh,
he
relief.
yelled.
Guess it's all
This
just
is
a
all a
dream.
dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to
Oh,
have finally
just
found an
a
answer,
simple
an explanation. His co-workers
little
weren't actually gone.
dream.
He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently
Yeah,
float
let's
above
fly.
the ground.
Flight makes things faster in all
Then
these
he imagined
games.
himself soaring through space on a magical starfield. And it
So
too
now I
appeared. It
am
was
flying
so
like
much
Peter
fun.
Pan
And Stanley marveled
through
that he had
Starfield.
still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered
Oh yeah,
by
it's still
Stanley,
here.
who
It's still
found it
following me.
particularly
Get out of my head.
strange.
Get out of my head.
I'm
Get out of my
dreaming
head.
about
Get out
a
of my head.
voice describing me,
Get
thinking
out
about how it's describing my thoughts.
my
he thought.
Head.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley
Ramming
is as awake right now
into
as he's ever
split
been in his life.
My
Now, hearing the voice
head.
speak these words was quite a shock
Get
to Stanley.
out.
After all, he knew for certain,
Of
beyond a doubt, that this was in
my
fact a dream. Did the voice
head.
not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
Eh.
How else would the voice explain all that?
Eh.
This
Eh.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was
Yeah,
a dream.
where's a good place to lie down?
So he closed his eyes gently,
Eh.
and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress
Yes.
on his back,
Then
the fresh air of a world
I
outside this
am
one.
awake. I am
Let me
sleeping.
wake up, he thought to himself.
And then
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job, All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
This is the story of who again?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
This is the story all about how my life got switched and
Mariella
upside
woke up on
down.
a day
I'll
like
tell you,
any
take a
other.
minute to sit
She
right there.
rose, got
Tell you
dressed,
how I
gathered her
became the
belongings,
guy
and
down
walked to her
there.
place of work. But on this particular day,
Well, I
her
woke
walk
up
was
going
interrupted
to
by
get
the body of
things
a man
and stuff,
who had
things
stumbled
and
through
what
town
things
talking
and
and
things
screaming
would be
to
the
himself,
things to
and
do
then
the
collapsed dead on
things,
the
and I don't
sidewalk.
have
And although
things,
she
so I
would
can
soon turn to
things.
go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh. We're back. Into
All
the
of his
madness.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, it looks like Stanley has learned that there is indeed some weird recursion going on here. Every time he does a thing, he winds it back in the same room, right? Okay, go through here. Isn't that supposed to turn right? No, it's always turned left. Never mind. The liminalness of the space is getting to me. I think that
When
broom
Stanley
closet
came
had
to a
something
set of
important
two
in it.
open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
First is in the broom closet. I didn't see Chris last time I went there.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this
mop
room.
bucket.
Please take your
I want
time.
to take the broom or the mop bucket with me. Well, I can't go anywhere else, so...
Coming
Let's
to
go
a
see what our boss
staircase,
is doing.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let me go right. Let me go right again. Hey, a door. Shooting pandas is business strategy. Get up close and personal. all together now. What? What I just did will make sense when I'm done editing the archive.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief.
Oh, this is more
who
than just a
orchestrated
basic
this.
manager's office.
What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not
This
have
building
known
looks like
was
Grunty
that the
Industries.
keypad behind the boss's desk
Do you work for
guarded
Black
the
Mesa?
terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, fancy. Hey, an elevator. Aw, there's not a single bit of funny stuff on this one.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, I don't think so. There's a mind control facility. I'm out of here.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Boob. Oh well. Guess there really isn't anything up here. Let's continue.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had
Yeah,
too
no, I
much
don't
to
want
live
violent
for.
death and I don't want mind control facility. Take me back to the comfort of the boss's office.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator.
The elevator.
I can't even begin to grapple with what
the
might
least
be
stable
up there.
footing in this
Is it
entire
the boss's office again?
passageway.
Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, no, there's more comfort here.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
More time to process, you say? More time to process. More time to process.
All right.
What
I
are you
have
doing
fully
to
come to terms
process?
with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Yeah, this is boring. Let's go do the dark, scary passage.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
There we go. Now I'm getting cold feet. Going back up. Cold feet. I don't want either imminent death or mind control facility.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the
Why my
real
elevator stop?
thrill.
This
I
was
simply don't
truly
wanna
the
let that
death
feeling
ending,
go.
wasn't it?
It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked
Go back
as loudly
down.
and frequently as possible.
Down.
They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel
Did the
all the
elevator get
time, and we
faster
all
suddenly,
know
or is
it,
it still
which
going
is
the
why
same
we're
slow
so
speed?
starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Oh. Ooh,
Okay,
yeah, this is
the room
definitely
we're
better
holding
than
the press
Imminent Death.
conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
A lot better than Imminent Death. All stock footage and imagery. Yes, this is definitely a B game. Like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. It uses recycled assets.
Ah,
Prefabs.
yes, here it is, just through this door. All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling, and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Well, if you insist. So... Yes, yes, my fellow public. Yes.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Did Jessica leave? Jessica, stop leaving your computer on. And Kim left her computer on. And Tim and Kim are next to each other. Oh, and Larry. Silly Larry. Oh, no.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
I
This
entered the
was
door on
not
the
the
left
correct
far
way
too
to the
often.
meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, look
Yes,
at this.
Truly
Look
a
at these.
room worth admiring. It had
This
really been
upholstery
worth the
reminds me of the
detour
couch
after all,
chair that I
just to
used to
spend
know.
a few moments here in
I
this
would construct
immaculate,
fortresses out
beautifully
of it.
constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Come to think of it, the wooden slats on that thing were super uncomfortable to sit on when you take the
But
cushions and
eager
inverted
to
them into
get back to
doors.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah, I think we're gonna keep disobeying you.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Huh? Warehouse. I wonder what the endings up there are like. Nah. You know, this doesn't look that stable, but it's telling me to step on it.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to
No.
break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
Aim for these boxes.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong.
I guess the
How
boxes were made
clumsy
of
of me.
explosives. Oh, I don't trust you anymore. That
All of his
voice is
co-workers
starting
were
to
gone.
annoy me.
What could it mean? Stanley
Just
decided
as
to go
much
to the
as
meeting
Jessica.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And her stupid freaking... Yeah. I mean, it's only a recent operation that she underwent. But she's still beautiful and
Oh,
deserves our
New
adulation.
content? What does that mean?
She's
New
probably getting a new
content?
mug. It says #1 mom. Poor Jessica. Oh look, new content. Do.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable
Alex Hirsch,
Ultra
is that you?
Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game
Bill
released
Cipher
in
is talking to
2013
me.
on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable,
You're not putting all the
delighting
content
audiences
in?
the world over.
Only a little bit of the content? There's still
Please
so much more
step
content in
inside
that
and see what
syringe.
thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful.
This way.
I'm very
Go this
excited
way.
to see the
Come on,
thrilling
lift.
new Ultra Deluxe content.
Oh well.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing
Guess we'll
special
just enter
yet,
this
but I'm
elevator
sure
with
it's just the
AstroTurf?
beginning of a mesmerizing
Is that
adventure.
AstroTurf?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we
there
go.
it is.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Ah, that's lame. I don't.
Is that it?
That is super
Surely
lame.
that's not all the new content. There has to be something
That
else,
is
right?
so lame.
Goodness.
A limited
Another
space to
elevator.
jump.
Stanley, I have to say,
Is it supposed to
initial
demonstrate
impressions
that
of this
I'll be
game
able
are
to
not
jump wherever I
positive.
want
It's
to
just
when the game
elevators
is
and
finally
jumping.
fully released?
Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Everyone should stream while lying down. It is much better for you, I guess. I don't know. Standing is
it?
better, but
Oh,
this is
you've
still
got
better
to
than
be
sitting.
kidding me.
Less
You see,
spine
Stanley,
compression and
this
less
is what happens
whatever.
when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for
Really?
no
That was
reason
all?
other than
That
to
is
make an easy
disappointingly
dollar.
small.
And don't get me started on the level
I was
of
told there'd be
craftsmanship that's gone into
like
it.
triple
In fact,
the
I'm looking
endings.
right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, this is different. That's a picture of my office. Hey, let me through this picture. Why can't I get through the tiny picture? Tiny picture? Oh well. Nope.
Stanley, come over here.
Not going that way.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
You called me a dork. You called me a dork. How dare you call me a dork? Well, then again, it is new content, so... Call me a dork. I want the new content.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little
Wow,
secret.
look at
Take
this
a look.
magical doorway.
I call it the memory
It's
zone.
such a cool doorway.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
There's a second path in the vent back there. If I drew a circle on the ground, maybe I could parkour my way up there. Yeah, look at this. There's a wall. Insurmountable waist-high log. Stanley, you have legs and they're long. Just lift those knees, Stanley. Lift those knees. Come on, lift those knees, Stanley. I know you can touch grass. In fact, you're touching grass right now. You're not allergic to wood, are you?
You see, Stanley,
look.
doesn't the memory zone
Awards.
remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap
Except
re-release?
I only
Remember
played a little
back
bit
in
of it.
October of
and
2013,
played-
when the game originally
I actually got
launched.
the,
Back then, video games had integrity.
got a very infamous
Back
achievement.
then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. I want to get that one, but I got this one. And I didn't speed up my clock. I actually stopped playing Stanley Parable for 5 long years and hoped anyone I had shared access with, like, friends' kids, because, like, friends' toddlers getting, like, using Steam at their place was fun. Like playing Steam games with them, and Mario Party. But yeah, 5 years. This Let's Play has been on hiatus for 5 long years. And I can finally say that we're playing it again. But during those 5 years that I was not playing it, another Stanley Parable game got released. What, are you allergic to flowers too, Stanley? Are you allergic to all of these things?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote,
Look at all
"Where
these
so many
candles.
games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art. Stanley
Hey, let me out
Parable
of here.
strives and then succeeds to be every
I don't want to
game
be in this
ever
room.
created." Did you hear that,
Damn it,
Stanley?
narrator, shut up.
Every game ever created. That's how grand
Let
and
me out,
all-encompassing
narrator.
the
Let
original
me out.
Stanley Parable was.
Right now.
It was literally
Right
every
now.
game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk.
Don't do this if you
with an
do
hour
it. If
of
you see
new
these in the
elevator
wild, knock
content.
them over, because if you don't, another animal will get crushed by them, and the ecosystem suffers. Yes, do not stack rocks. Oh, what's down here? Maintenance room. Okay. The original remake. It's a mirror. Ah! Additive game design. You can see the wireframes, the static meshes, the geometry, the light sources. This is in Source. I don't think I ever learned Source. I learned how to make things in Unreal. Fun fact, Spyro the Dragon's Reignited trilogy is made in Unreal, which means I
Here's
can mod
another moving
Spyro as soon as
passage,
I
this
figure out
time
where the
from
hell every single
GameSpot.com.
piece of code is
The
in there to
Stanley
control
Parable
stuff.
is both a richly stimulating commentary
Like, there's
on the
ways
nature
to
of
swap
choice
the
in
model
games,
files and
one
turn
that
Spyro
offers
into
some
a
of the most
chunky dragon.
enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding
But
choices I've
there's no
ever
way
been
to make it
confronted with in a
get
game.
where
9 out of 10.
the
Don't you
gems
get it,
control your
Stanley?
model.
The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest
Chicky.
of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall
Slider.
of beloved video game memories.
A value connected to the number of gems you got. I'd rather be playing that and not.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Oh, maintenance
But I
door's
wouldn't
open.
give to go back, to have it all over
Yes,
again.
come on, stop
Wait,
rambling already.
Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no.
If only there
Stanley,
was,
it's a
like, I
collection
don't
of
know, some
reviews
sort
from
of
Steam,
function
the online video game
that,
distributor.
like, I don't
haven't
know,
looked at these in years.
made you
I
less
can't even
annoying,
imagine
narrator.
What's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
You're just being far too... Oh, here's an interesting one.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and
So that's
dialogue
basically
proving
got
to
the
be
same
more
review as I
irritating
would
than
give Sonic
entertaining.
Forces.
Unfunny. I'm not trying to be
Since
funny.
we're
I'm trying to
distracted
make a
from...
serious
Hey,
work of art.
you
I
almost threw
suppose I
that on
could write
me.
up a handful
Guy
of gags
voice.
to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Yeah, right. If this humor were any drier, they'd have to make a new biome that's drier than a desert. Or wasteland. They'd have to come up with a new name for whatever biome this is, because it's drier than the Sahara. Oh, look, another one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea of the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy?
Yeah,
Stanley?
he is preachy.
I'm not preachy, am I?
No, you're very
You can tell me
preachy.
if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
Long-winded,
This is actually
droning
quite shocking
monologues
for me.
of everything.
I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff
Look,
I
here's
cut
a good
from the game
review.
to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always
I
remember.
just thought of a horrible political joke, but I'm not going to make it. But yeah, seriously, if only I had some way to
What's
make
this
you
one
less
got to say?
preachy, right?
You constantly
A
have to
skip
stop doing
button.
anything.
Actually,
so
that would
the
be good.
narrator
This
can
Cookie
catch up
9
with his
guy has got a
long-winded
really good point.
explanations of what's happening.
Give me a skip
I
button,
wish there was a
narrator.
skip button. A skip button?
Yeah, a skip button.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm
Present to
truly too
me
preachy, then
the skip
then
button,
maybe
damn
letting
it.
you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not
I
if it
really
means
wish
we
I could
can
just skip
strike these
everything you
negative
said.
reviews from
Everything.
the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always
Hell
been
yes.
my motto. I do anything
Normalize
for the
bending over
customer
backwards to destroy
Yes,
your
a
product to
skip
appease
button
minority
we shall
groups
have.
online that aren't minority
And
groups,
here
like
it
the,
is.
the
Go
annoying
ahead and
ones,
give it a
not the
shot.
good,
I'll pop
not
you
the,
forward
not the
in
protected
time
ones.
so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you with just
Like
the push of a
haters.
button,
Haters
you'll
being a
have zipped
minority
right
group.
past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long,
Let me out.
rambling monologue full of unnecessary
see where
verbal
this is
flourishes
going.
and lengthy ruminations on the nature.
Skip.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me.
Let
rambling
me
on,
out.
didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the
door.
button has been skipping through
Where's
is
the
becoming
door?
longer and longer. That last one was, well,
Where's the
I want to say
door?
maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable.
And
by
how
any
did the
means,
door
but-
disappear
well,
in
there's
only
really
that
only
much
so much I
time?
can ramble on to myself. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
12 hours.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Someone should
Stanley,
water this.
I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've
Also,
been sitting
only one
here
light
all
works
that time,
still.
Just sitting here. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about...
Oh. Why didn't you water this? I told you to water this. Oh, and now you need to replace the batteries in your smoke detector? Really? What if this place catches fire while I'm waiting? If I'm skipping and you're catching fire... I don't want you to tell me I'm looking like I'm stuck in the stream full of fire. I don't want to be in the fire room. Also, you let the plant die. My only companion now.
But
Also,
they
the
didn't
clock fell off the
understand the
wall.
game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the
Gathering
human
dust,
condition.
it looks
But where
like.
are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoan, they scream,
And
they
these
gnash their
leaves
teeth and say,
are very dry now.
entertain us. It wasn't in...
Is this Stanley's dust? Because there's only one living thing in this room producing dust. Also, for some reason, there are light sources in the ceiling.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end. Oh. Leaking roof. Why is there water? What's pouring over here? Like, the room was underwater before. Did it sink again? Is that where the door went? Have we been underwater this? Answers no questions. Because the ceiling caved in from water damage. That answered nothing. Ugh. Damn it. Oh. Sunlight. Ceiling caved in. Okay, now it's dried out. No, Planty the potted plant. You will be avenged. Hey, you're back, Planty the potted plant. No, wait, no. No, you're still buried in the foliage now. Nature. Serenity. Look at this. I am one with the world. I wonder how GLaDOS is doing. Heard Shell shut her off. Maybe she's free by now. Yep. Looks like everything is over. Things are a bit dark and bleak now. Everything died. That means nothing has been raining and the sunlight has been intense. And now... could swear I heard someone calling Stanley, where are you? Well, that's done. I guess I can finally leave this holy hell. How long was I in there? Cue the end of that one episode of SpongeBob where he comes back to the Krusty Krab and is buried in sand. And he's got a beard because the jellyfish wouldn't leave him alone. I want to get on top of the room. Well, to the distance we go. That dune over there looks interesting. There's rocks. There are still clouds, which means there is water. But where is the water? And everything went black. Okay, that was a weird dream.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Wait, no. No, I was right. That does go right normally. It went left that time. Now it went right. I was right. This game messes with you. Oh, seriously, Jessica. I forgot to turn off your computer this time. Are we good, Jessica?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
There we are. We're good. We're all good. New content. Nah. Unless...
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Hey! Why is this barricaded? That's
Coming
so
to
weird.
a staircase,
Maybe someone
Stanley
sealed
walked
something evil
upstairs
in
to
there.
his boss's office.
The executive bathroom. Oh, the receptionist. Oh. Input received. I shouldn't be using the receptionist's computer.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
I love how
he
I made it
relaxed
longer
for a
because I
few
didn't let him
moments
talk.
with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward. into the opened passageway.
Open the passageway. Butt scratcher. Angy boo boo boo. He says, Angy boo boo boo. Excuse me.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
I guess
Mind
it's about time
Control
we
Facility.
confront our fate. Right? Right.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Wow.
What
Oh,
horrible
fuck.
secret did this place hold? Stanley
Oops.
thought to himself. Did he have the strength? Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an end.
Nah, I think I'll have it at 5. Nah, I want the vibration on. How far can I get in Japanese? Apparently not that far. Reticle, dot, triangle, plasma rifle. Make the reticle as big as possible. Nah, that's too big. That's too small. 69, why not? It's too visible. Not visible enough. Only needed to be that visible. Nah. Auto walk. What even is that? Maybe this will help me reduce the lovely song that we're listening to. Now let the narrator have it.
Story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
There's got to be something with the
This is
narrator
the story
volume.
of a man
Like
named
being able to
Stanley.
turn the narrator off might be hilarious. Full screen. Wait, we can do it in 4K? Not that you'll see any difference, because you're seeing in whatever my stream output is, but if I can do it in 4K for me, let's go do 4K on. $4090 and 60 hertz. Ooh, that's so cool. How is this simplified controls? Literally every button does the same thing. We should call that, what was his name? Oh, would you look at that? It's finished. I just downloaded ESO. That'll be fun to play a little later. Large subtitles. Why not?
I believe
Oh,
in you.
look at how
I
smooth
believe in
that
your
is.
ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. The railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Stanley had never
Yeah,
seen
can
the
move
office this
faster now.
brightly lit. Was it a sign of something?
Damn it, Bill.
He hoped it was.
Jessica!
He hoped very much that it was.
Every time I see you, Jessica. Anyway, we're turning right this time. Bill O'Reilly. Bobby O'Reilly. Oh, the door is even more open this time, it looks like.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Well, I guess I shafted you last time and I wound up in a pit, so... Let's go see where this goes, shall we? Let's go see where this goes. See, shall we? Tomorrow is Thursday, that
You
means
see,
feed the
Stanley,
fish
I've
day,
been
means
reflecting
all
on the
way,
Stanley
way.
parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. This, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities.
Okay, so
It
number
could go
2
in
everywhere. I've
so
just
many
been mindlessly
different
going
directions.
forward, looking at all this
This is
stuff.
what fans have truly been asking for.
Two.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it
The end
even
is never the
mean?
end, but in
the
number form.
Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
A lot of different themes. I don't recognize all of them.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a
that's a
look
cool
at some of
thing.
the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
One. No food or drink. Not bad. Anyone else just play Limbo with these when they see no one in line? Mad lad. Total mad lad. Oh look, it's Stanley Parable 2.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Ooh.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what
A
do
button that
players
says the
really
name of the
want?
person who
And of
presses it?
course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful? Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name
had
Jim.
to be the name
but of
Jim.
course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of
had
this
to be
feature.
Jim.
Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim,
Having a
staying up all
roommate and
night
best
for
friend named
popcorn
Jim
and
who we
horror
haven't
movie
spoken to
sleepover as
in,
Jim,
like,
developing a
years.
crippling substance addiction. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, oh, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
I only did that to annoy you because you used the name Jim.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Ooh, what's this way? Settings World Champion, free achievement, infinite gold. What do you mean? Hey, it's the jump circle
You know
again.
what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Those look like they're finite. Okay, this is all lame. Where's the exit? Ooh, shiny. It's like
Ah,
an anglerfish in the deep sea.
now it's a real
And this is all
video
just
game.
phytoplankton.
In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley
bioluminescent
figurines. And what's
bacterial
truly innovative is that there will be
things.
no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You'll simply collect all of them, and then
And
you'll
now
move the
suddenly
hell
Harry
on with
Potter.
your...
I've got the first mini Stanley figurine thing.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it.
I'll
Absolutely
just call them Stan
tragic.
Pigs. Ooh, infinite full. Ooh, an achievement that you get
Now,
by pulling
here's
a lever?
something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yeah. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will
You
exist.
disappointed me,
Right now,
narrator.
the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Hole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is
It's
in
a
fact
hole.
a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you
Whee!
like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Except no. This
You
would
see,
suck for
isn't
someone
it
like me who
wonderful?
has a fear of
One my
heights
more
and freaks out when they
ingenious
feel like they're
concoctions,
falling.
if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue on. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley.
You lied to me!
I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but
It looks
come
like the moon
on.
when you do this.
Who actually wants to fall forever?
Like, it
The
actually
hole
looks
was
like a
plenty
3D
deep. It was
thing.
more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Again!
Oh, for heaven! You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh.
That was
Did
slightly
the hole
less
seem
infinite,
even
wasn't it?
shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes.
For
I'm
the sake of
starting to become
science, I must tell you that this
extremely
hole is
certain that
indeed
the hole is not only not infinite,
increasingly
but
less
that it's growing
infinite.
steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley,
Ultra
I
Deluxe
have
is
no
not a remake,
explanation
it's
for
a
the
sequel.
uncertain nature of the hole's length.
Just
Here,
like Scott
let's
Pilgrim
try
Takes Off
something.
is not a remake,
Let's
it's a
hop back
sequel.
up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
If you ever looked at Scott Pilgrim Takes Off and you didn't want it because you
Well, there
didn't
it is.
think it was
The
like,
shame of my lie has come to haunt
Oh, no.
me. How
I
is
fell
this
back in.
still appealing to you?
narrator,
I
help!
know you're
I can't get
obsessed
out!
with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
No,
Still
no.
nothing?
Narrator, get me out of here!
Suppose-
Narrator, get me out! Get me out, narrator!
There's one thing I can do to fix
Get me
this.
out!
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
No!
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get
I
more
only
time
fell
with
in
it
the hole
than you
on
could ever
mistake.
have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to
It
be
pulled
with the
me
hole.
in.
I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
One, two, three, four. What? Uh-oh. Ah, run around, run away. Thing doing thing. Anyone else notice sudden, music? There's music now. And now the hole is growing more and more infinite. Okay.
good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You
Wait.
don't want to miss a single moment.
Change my perspective
so how
and
about
myself.
if I just
What?
pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
No. Oh,
Here
we're
we
back
are.
here.
Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Well, mostly infinite hole. The mostly infinite hole.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable
Oh,
was
look,
that it
it's
was
a bucket.
confusing and paradoxical, that it
it's
engendered
not
a
a bucket.
chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well,
Where
I'm
is
happy
the
to say
bucket?
that after much consideration, I've engineered a
No
clever
bucket?
solution to this
What's that up
fundamental
there?
problem with the game.
I came
It's
here
the
to see a
Stanley
bucket.
Parable
Show me a
reassurance
bucket.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense
Oh,
of
I want the bucket.
calm
Give me
and
bucket,
ease
bucket, bucket,
will
bucket,
fill
bucket,
your
bucket,
mind.
bucket. I want this.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact,
No comment
can
on
I
the
say
fact that I
do believe
stole the
bucket lends you an
bucket
air
from
of
midair?
charisma as well.
You're
I
not
think
going to
that
tell
just
me,
holding
oh
it
my
has
god, you
made
can't
the
even wait, why did you
slightest
take
bit
the
more
bucket?
attractive as a
I don't know
person.
why I took the bucket, but the bucket
benefits
likes
of
me
the
for some
bucket seem to
reason.
go on and on,
This
don't
bucket
they?
whispers the secrets of
All
the
this
universe in
and
my
more
ear, and I will
await
never let it
you
go.
in the Stanley Parable too.
It is a bucket, and it will never be let go. I will never let go of this bucket. It's so shiny. Brittle, brittle,
Does anyone give out
shiny,
awards for
shiny,
most
brittle,
enjoyable
brittle,
bucket in a
shiny,
video?
shiny.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one.
Oh, blue
I
balloons.
think that in
I
the
want the white
new
ones,
version, the office could use a bit
The
of
white ones
decoration,
look way
like
better
balloons. But I'm
than the
undecided
blue
on
ones,
Get
honestly.
Well Someday
Oh,
and
get
Happy
me
12th Birthday.
the blue
Which
ones.
would you
They're
go
literally
with?
more
You know,
office shaped.
sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion,
So
it
you
makes you
ignored me. I have the
realize that
Master
you
of
knew
Interior
which one
Design,
you
and
actually
you ignored
really
me.
wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Let's see, we've seen the collectibles, we've seen... What all have we seen here? This map, Infinite Hole. Now, mostly infinite. Now, the point of an infinite hole is that you'll be falling forever, and you're not going to feel it. Like, eventually you're just going to reach equilibrium, terminal velocity, and it's... No, I wanted to show the bucket the hole. Stupid frick. Not allowed to show the bucket the hole? Come on, bucket. You're not welcome here anymore, obviously. There's a lack of hole enthusiasts, and you're just a portable hole anyway. I guess I'll show you the jump circle, though. Excuse me. But really... Really, all of this stuff is just so... Red is the new orange. Where's the radio interference coming from? Oh well. You showed me a lame achievement, a collectible that means nothing, a infinite hole that you lied to me about. This bucket is probably the only worthwhile thing from this entire exhibit to bring forward. What, is that a Rorschach?
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on
Oh,
now?
spilled coffee, that's what it is. It's office supplies. And Stanley's face is just the office. Imagine
So,
you got to
Stanley,
your
what do
office
you
for your
think?
job one
Do you
day,
like all of the new
and
features?
suddenly there's
Yes,
this
I know
huge
it's not
museum
exactly
dedicated
clear
only
yet
to
how
you and what
exactly
you
these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel
Why
it in
the
my
hell
soul.
does that Yoshi
It's
have a
going
hole
to
in his
work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres
all
into a
Yoshi,
meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
Wait,
And I do
where's
very
jump
much
circle?
enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Oh, the jump
I
circle is
wanted more than
literally
anything to
on the
create a
infinite
sequel
hole.
that would capture
That's-
all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how
That's
good
kind
these
of,
gags are, they won't
concerning.
stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Stanley Parable 2. I'm supposed to be playing Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. We can't have that now. And that's I'm ending the stream. Good night.